Hello, my name's Theresaconwayhayes, and I'm in Meridian, Idaho. Today is Tuesday, August 3rd at 1:39 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and I'm here to start a new series that I'm going to call Stampin' Through the Catalog. In this case, it's going to be the mini catalog, and just got a notification that I'm live, so it looks like the technology is working just fine. Let's see, so I introduced myself and what we're going to be doing, and that distracted me significantly enough so that I can't remember what else I was going to say, so let's just go ahead and get started. Alright, here's my desktop, and because today is August 3rd, I can welcome you to the new catalog and celebration. And that's actually what I wanted to say. So this is the new mini catalog. I crossed out July because it did not become available to customers until today on August 3rd. And I have to write everything down so that I can remember it. So, as I opened up the catalog and started going through the pages, I didn't find anything that I own yet until I got to the page that has the Snow Wonder stamp set on it. Now this suite is circled. I did order it today, and so I will be getting a lot of these products. I ordered the bundle, and I ordered the craft paper because I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I ordered these cute little acrylics. And I love masks, so I always buy any masks that come out. And then I got the paper. And while I was looking at the paper, I saw that there are, a lot of times if it's holiday themed or something like that, the opposite side of the paper can often be used for every day, all throughout the year. So like this red check here, that could be used. These stripes could be used. These green stripes and these polka dots, all of those would be just fine for any time of the year, in my humble opinion. This is like an argyle with the colors, what are they using? Real red and old olive. I was going to guess that that was pear pizzazz. But what's nice about the catalog is that when you're looking at DSP, it gives you the color scheme so that you can tell what colors are in this suite when this suite deals with color. So as I went through it, I didn't see anything, like I said, until I got to, can't wait to get this suite actually. I did order these cute good holly leaves, so I'm excited about that. I don't know if I'll get the paper though, because I have a lot of that kind of theme of paper. Anyways, moving on. So we're going to create this card right here in this Stamping Through the Catalog episode, and I am going to take a minute right now to see if there are any comments. And I think that's the one. Okay. I think that's the one. So all right. I didn't expect anybody to be online at this hour on a weekday, but who knows, someone might pop in. So for this bundle, excuse me, and this is a bundle, but it's not a bundle with savings because this set was introduced last year. So when they bring it back in a catalog, it's not brought back with bundled savings. It's only brand new bundles that end up having like I think it's 15% off. It's like gas. I don't usually pay attention to the prices. If I need it, I'm going to buy it. So for this particular card, it's going to have a card base, And I wrote cheat notes on here. So if I turn that right, you're able to screenshot that if you want to take that information down. This card base is 8.5 by 5.5. So you just take a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and cut it in half, and then you score it at 4 1/4. So that's how you do the card base. Then we have what I call a layer 1. So the layer 1 in my world is a 4 by 5 1/4 sheet of paper, and I call it a layer 1 because it's usually the first layer that I'll use on another piece of cardstock. Now a lot of people will do just like 1/8 of an inch border, but I very, very rarely do that. It's too precise. I have what's called familiar trimmers, and so it's enough of an ordeal for me to get something like this straight. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with there, and this is what the stamp set looks like. It's called Snow Wonder. It is a cling stamp set, and it is bundled with Snow Time. So I did buy this last year, so I have my mask that I used last year when I was die cutting. I took the dies out that I'll be using today, but there's a few more still in here. So this particular die set has 2 labeled dies, and then it has one for the trees, one for the wreath, one for the snowman, and then it has 2 of these for the corners, which is what I used, and all it does is it embosses the cardstock. I'm going to put those away now before I lose them. I worry a lot about losing dies. So then what I did was I took a scratch piece of paper and I used Smoky Slate, which is the lightest gray that I have. It's the lightest gray that, ooh, I could have used Sahara Sand. I'll bet you that's what they used in the picture. I was trying to figure out. So I went with Smoky Slate because snow to me is usually white or it's gray because it's dirty. So then I stamped, whoops. So the first time I stamped this, I stamped with black, and I was like, oh, I don't want it to be that dark. So I never waste cardstock, so what I did was I turned this over and I stamped another one. Then I went ahead and I took the greeting that says Christmas wishes and joyful greetings, and I stamped that beside my snowman, making sure that I had enough room to cut it out without interfering with these 2 pieces, because I wanted to cut both pieces out in one run on my die machine. So there's the stamping part. That's not everything though. There's one more thing that I have to do stamping with. And I meant to grab the stamp pad that I wanted and I didn't. I think that this color is maybe Mossy Meadow or shaded, I think it's Mossy Meadow, but I'm going to go with Shaded Spruce. Ooh, I'm tempted to use Evening Evergreen. I'll go with Shaded Spruce. So I don't care to cut things out with the die machine when I'm live. So I did already cut out the snowman, and there's the snowman, and then the greeting. One of the things that I do, so I can go ahead and I can put those dies away. Alright, one of the things that I do when I'm working with a new stamp set is I like to mount all of the stamps so that I can get a feel for them. And sometimes I will even take my little stamp journal book that I have here. I don't know if I've done it already, but I will find a clean sheet and I will stamp all the images, just so I can get a feel for, you know, is this an image that, say, the red rubber stamp has overshadow on it. Now that's smeared a little bit, but that was me. These, I think, as I recall, they stamp really good. Up, there we go. There's a little bit. So in the future, I'll have to remember to just do my tap, 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 and press down as evenly as possible so that I don't get that line, overshadow, edge, whatever you call it in your world. This will be important for me to know how this one stamps, because this is going to be the next one that I stamp, and OMG, it stamps beautifully. That one stamps pretty good too. Okay, so we've already stamped the other two stamps, so we know how they work. I do use my simple chamois, and this thing looks dirty and it looks gross, but that's okay. It doesn't need to look better than that. It rinses out with water, and it does a good job of cleaning your stamps. Now when you're using red rubber though, you might want to use the Stampin' Mist cleaner, because not only does it do a good job of cleaning your stamps, but it also, I read somewhere that it conditions the red stamps. So it's very possible that this product keeps your red stamps healthy. This is what I like about the chamois. I cut mine in half. One, because I do workshops, and this allows me to give half to one person, half to the other. And the other thing is because it also allows me to pick it up easily and clean my stamps. So I'm not going to work as hard on this now. I'm just going to give each one a quick go through and move on with what we're going to do next. This one can keep green on it. We're done with this one, and we're done with the snowman. Alright, need this piece right here. Now if this was a photopolymer stamp, and it was okay to write on the back of there because that's going to be glued down. If this was a photopolymer stamp, then I would want to use my piercing mat, but it's not, so I don't have to. So my little snowman is going to go right there. So my trees are going to go right about where his head is. Okay. Now I'm just going to let that dry just a little bit. I don't want that to smear. And I am going to take I always push the wrong side first, and this one is very messy, so I'm pretty sure I got green ink on me, and I am dealing with white cardstock a little bit, so I'm going to wash my hands with a wipe that I keep on my desk, and I always put the wipe back in the container so that I'm not going to accidentally get a wipe next to my project and cause me to get the cardstock wet. So I'm going to take this, and usually I'm not very good at getting ink on the lid for these new stamp pads, I don't usually like to do that anyways. Oh, I did that time. And I'm going to take a blending brush. And I'm just going to color a little bit. I need a little piece of scrap paper. Just going to do a little bit. Because the intention of this art design is not going to be to have a lot of color on it. But I do want to bring out a little of this shading. Okay, I don't know if that really did anything or not, but it gave you an idea of what you can do and how you can expand on what I just demonstrated. All right, so the next thing we need is some twine. I'm not really crazy about the twine around that like that, but I'll go ahead and I want to follow this pretty close. I don't always follow things exactly, or maybe even pretty close when I'm casing an image from the catalog. And by the way, I see on Facebook groups all the time for card making, people asking if it's okay to case somebody's work. Yes, it is. It's the highest form of a compliment, and it's nice to mention the person, but if you're like me, you watch so many videos on making cards that it's really hard to remember people's names. Now, some of those that I watch frequently, all the time, I do remember their name, but I don't know that I can always match up their projects that I've learned from them with their name. So just be happy to stamp. I mean, if just be happy to stamp. Now, if you're taking their pictures and posting them online, that's a whole different ball of wax. But if you're creating your own cards and you're using their ideas, there's nothing wrong with that. Just getting an idea of how much paper I need here. And I'm going to put this down on top of the snowman and underneath the sentiment. So the snowman, I'm going to go ahead and just glue him down. Now, one of the products that I use, and usually I use it for the smaller things because I like this fine point, is this Barely Art Precision Craft glue because it has this little fine point. But usually I'll use my Tombow. But last time I used my Tombow, for some reason it got stuck and I've just been too lazy to clear the clog glue out of there. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. For some reason, part of me thinks this is more expensive than Tombow, so I tried to use this just for precision type things. Now, Stampin' Up! Does do a nice glue pen, but for me, it's harder for me to control the glue that comes out of this glue pen because it's so thin, and it can get sticky, and it's just me, and it's easier for me to use something like this. For some reason, it's usually easier to get this pen into this container than the pen in the fine glue Stampin' Up! Product too. I think it's because it's longer. Alright, so Mr. Snowman's going to go right there. And then we're going to tie the twine. This is another thing I don't like doing on camera. And I don't worry if it doesn't get tight enough, because if it doesn't, what I do is I cut it in the back and I tape it to make it tighter. I have a lot of accommodations that I use for the fact that I have the trimmers. Nice. Want this more over. Want this more on top of the snowman. Okay, and I did loosen it up by doing that. So this is what I do. So I take the tape, fasten it down with the tape, and I can cut it. Now it's tight. Now we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this greeting. A lot of people will go with something like this. Some people will fill in every spot that they can find. I usually go less is more. So I usually don't put this many on. And when the fad came out to use the take your pick tool to take the backs of these dimensionals off, I jumped on the train, but then I found that for me it was just easier to go for it and pick it off with my hand. It was just faster than trying to find my take your pick tool and all of that. So I don't want my string, but I do have to go that far. I don't really like covering up his hand, his little stick hand either, so I'm going to bring mine down further. I'm going to put it right there. I like that positioning better. Okay, so we've got Oh, no, we don't have the card base, so we got to put the card base on there. Let's see if my Tombo's working. One of my tricks for getting the glue to work is I pound it like that before I start. Then I pull and make sure there's no glue. Let's see if it's going to work. No, it's still is stuck. So I used, where'd it go? I used this pen yesterday. Maybe it doesn't feel empty. There's plenty of glue on there. I'm going to try not to get that glue on me because this stuff is real sticky. That's why it does such a good job. There it comes. I always store this upside down in my little glue holder that my friend Deb made me. Show you, it's really cute. So this is the little glue holder, and then when I'm using it like non-stop, I can put my cap right there and just put this in here when I'm not using it and that sort of thing. So this is a really neat glue holder. I'll check my orientation of my card for my layer to make sure I'm going to do it right. And this tone on tone is difficult for my eyesight. Let's see. That looks pretty good. Okay, so there is that card, stamping through the new mini catalog. So a lot of times it just gives me pleasure to check it that I did that one. So as you can see, the shaded spruce and the mossy meadow, they both look nice with this color. I think they use mint macaron. I am actually out of mint macaron. I have a little tiny bit. So I just went ahead and grabbed the pool party. I did order more mint macaron today, but yeah, I am almost out. So I could probably, this might be a card base cut here, but look at that. That's not very much macaron left. So I had to stock up on some card stock. But anyways, that's a cute card. Now, to finish it off, you may want to take a piece of copy paper that's cut at layer 1 size, which is 4 by 5 1/4, or use cardstock. And you know, a lot of time, I've been using glue, but a lot of time for this, I like to just take my snail and put a couple pieces like that. Oh, and because this is a landscape card, I probably would have done it the other way if I would have thought about it. But to me, it's just so much easier to just use a little bit of tape and push that down like that. It also makes it nice for if somebody wanted to recycle your card. So say they wanted to tear this out of here, which they could do very easily, and then grab their own piece of cardstock and write their own message and re-gift your card that you gifted to them to somebody else. Personally, I really like that idea. So that's what I've got for you today of Stampin' Through the Catalog. Remember that when you order from this mini catalog now, this is celebration time. So between August 3rd and September 30th, when you order $50 to $100 worth of product from the catalog, you can earn free product from the celebration brochure. So I just ordered this today. This is called Bedazzling 6x6 paper. I'm trying to see how many sheets you get. 8 sheets. You get 8 sheets of this. And I've seen it on videos and it's beautiful. Then there is this penguin paper that coordinates with one of the sets that's in the mini catalog. Then there is this Feels Like Home. I bought that last time, so I'll be doing some. Oh, and I bought this Beautifully Pen paper. It's wonderful. I just love it. Let's see. So I took some and I colored it. I did this with a dauber and ink and made background. And then I did one that I did with I don't have the other one handy, that I did with blend alcohol markers. It makes great backgrounds. It's a lot of fun. And then there is this Peaceful Prints paper, and it coordinates with the Peaceful Deer bundle in the catalog, the mini catalog. And then there is this Counting Sheep stamp set, and it coordinates with these sheep dies, and you can get both for $100 worth of purchase. So this one you get for $50, and this one you get for $50 purchase. I love this one. I think I made that one already. No, maybe not. Anyways, this is really cute, and I've made a couple cards with it. Then there's this Textures and Frames. I love anything that is textures or like vintage look and that sort of thing. I ordered this today, Summer Shadow Dies, and this coordinates with the Shaded Summer stamp set, which I already own. So that will be a lot of fun. And then I ordered this today. This is free with a $100 purchase, the Delicate Dahlias. And then there's a host set that you can get, and I always forget how this works. Let's see. So, free host set. So I think this is if you ordered $250 or more, you can get this. Yeah. So that's what I have for you today. I'm looking forward to stamping through the catalog more with you in the future. And have a great day. We'll see you next time.